The clock is ticking, and tensions are at an all-time high. The shocking deaths, the untold secrets, and the bloodshed in 1923 have left us all on the edge of our seats. And now, we're one episode away from the season finale, where everything we've been waiting for could change forever. What happens next? Who survives? And who will be left behind in this dangerous world of betrayal and vengeance? Episode 7 is just around the corner, and with it comes answers. Answers we're desperate to uncover. Let's dive deep into episode 6 and try to piece together the puzzle. Buckle up, because the ride is about to get even more intense. Episode 6 has left us reeling, each twist more brutal than the last. Jack's death, shocking, heartbreaking, and so utterly undeserved, caught us off guard. For 15 seconds, I didn't know what to do with myself. Jack had so much potential, and yet his story ended in the most humiliating way possible. A character who had struggled to find his place, to prove his worth, is taken away in an instant. And it wasn't even by a worthy adversary, it was a result of his own mistakes, a series of poor decisions he made out of naivety. His death shows just how fragile life is in this harsh world, where a single moment of weakness can cost you everything. But Jack wasn't the only one to fall. Father Renault's death was equally jarring, but in a way, it was more expected. We all saw this coming, didn't we? We knew he'd meet his end eventually. However, I never imagined it would come in episode 6, and not in the way it did. It felt like a final checkmark on his arc, one we'd anticipated for a long time, but still, it hit hard. For a character who had been so prominent in the second season, his exit had an almost eerie finality to it. And speaking of finalities, let's talk about Tiona. Her journey has been nothing short of heartbreaking, and the brutality she's endured over the past few episodes has set the stage for a major shift. Revenge. We've known it was coming, and yet, we still weren't prepared for the emotional weight that it would carry. Tiona's story is a tragic one, losing her father, losing her boyfriend, and now facing the impossible task of killing the man who caused all of this pain. It's clear that her path forward is one of darkness. Episode 6 gave us a glimpse of that, but episode 7? We're about to see how far Tiona is willing to go to take back control of her life, even if it means losing her soul in the process. Her story is heartbreaking, yes, but it's also filled with rage. A raw, unfiltered rage that makes you understand why she's so hell-bent on revenge. She's been through too much to just let it go. What's next for her? We don't know. But one thing's for sure. She's not done yet. And then there's the British couple, Alex and her companion, who seem to have stepped straight out of a different world. Their story, while filled with kindness and naivety, took a turn for the worse in episode 6. We all knew they wouldn't last long in this unforgiving land, but their deaths? Brutal. It's as though Taylor Sheridan wanted to remind us that even the kindest souls can't escape the harsh reality of this world. The British couple's deaths weren't just shocking, they were a reflection of the show's underlying message. Survival isn't just about strength, it's about making the right decisions. And trusting the wrong people, that can get you killed. But there's still a glimmer of hope for some of our characters. Elizabeth, for instance, is one of the few left standing after all the chaos. We saw her struggle, fight, and ultimately take up arms to protect herself. It's not just her physical strength that's impressive, it's her determination to survive. Jack's death may have shattered her, but it also lit a fire inside her. She's no longer the helpless woman we once knew. She's becoming something else, something more dangerous, and that could be a key piece of the puzzle in the upcoming episode. But even so, her journey is far from over. The threats are escalating, and the Duttons are surrounded on all sides. The train station, the showdown we've all been waiting for. Jacob, the sheriff, Banner's men, and Spencer's arrival, it's all leading to one monumental conflict. Episode 7 promises an epic gunfight, one that could change the fate of everyone involved. We've been led to believe that Jacob and his crew will be fighting to protect Spencer, while the women, like Kara and Elizabeth, will be defending their home. But what if the real twist lies in the sheriff's actions? Throughout the series, he's always been an enigma. Some trusted him, others didn't. And now, with the news of Spencer's journey spreading, the sheriff's loyalty will be put to the test. Is he truly on the side of the Duttons, or will his allegiances lie elsewhere? The tension is palpable, and episode 7 might just answer that question in the most shocking way. And then there's the trailer. Episode 7 has left us with some tantalizing clues. The gunfight at the train station is only the beginning. We've seen glimpses of chaos, explosions, and violence. There's one shot in particular, Spencer running into the train. What's going on there? Is he fleeing from a threat, or is someone coming after him? We don't know yet, but one thing is certain, Spencer's journey is far from over. And as the Duttons brace themselves for an all-out war, the stakes couldn't be higher. The suspense is mounting, the plot lines are converging, and now, with just one episode left in the season, we're left to wonder who will survive and who will fall. Episode 7 holds the answers, but until then, all we can do is wait and speculate. What do you think will happen? Will Tiona find peace, or will her thirst for revenge consume her? Will the Duttons come out victorious, or will the bloodshed prove to be too much? One thing is for sure. Whatever happens, it's going to be a wild ride. Now that we've broken down the chaos of Episode 6, it's time to look ahead and dive into the heart of what's coming in Episode 7. The tension that has been brewing all season will finally explode in this penultimate chapter. So let's explore some key moments and unravel the mystery that will define the fate of our beloved characters. First off, we have to talk about Spencer. We've all been waiting for his return, and with the final showdown at the train station, Episode 7 is set to give us exactly that. Jacob and the others are preparing for Spencer's arrival, and the tension at that station is almost unbearable. The question is, will Spencer even make it there in one piece? He's already faced so many dangerous situations, and with Banner's men closing in, it's hard to imagine he won't face a fight before the episode ends. The train station isn't just a setting, it's a ticking time bomb. As we saw in the trailers, the fight at the station will be epic, and it's going to be a battle for survival, plain and simple. But we also have to keep in mind what's happening back at the Dutton Ranch. Kara and Elizabeth, who have both proven themselves as fierce protectors, will be facing off against the chaos at home. Elizabeth, in particular, has evolved since the beginning of the season. She's no longer the innocent bystander we first met. She's taking up arms, preparing to defend her family, and no longer waiting for someone else to protect her. Her growth will be tested to the limit in the final episode as she faces the grim reality of the world she's found herself in. What happens to her in Episode 7? The stakes are too high for her to just be a bystander. We could see her fighting for her life, and potentially even taking down a few enemies along the way. The Duttons have always been about family, and in this moment, Elizabeth will prove she belongs with them in more ways than one. And let's not forget about Tiona. Her path of revenge isn't something that will be wrapped up easily. Her brutal journey, marked by loss and heartbreak, is leading her to a confrontation that could define her future. In Episode 6, we saw the weight of her loss push her closer to the edge. Will she finally come face to face with the man responsible for destroying everything she held dear? And more importantly, will her thirst for revenge consume her entirely? The teaser for Episode 7 shows her walking down a dangerous path, but we don't know how far she's willing to go. Will she get the closure she desperately seeks, or will the consequences of her actions haunt her forever? We know that revenge isn't without its price, and Tiona's price might just be too high. The British adventure is another lingering thread that's about to reach its conclusion. Alexandra, stranded in the snow with her car buried, is in one of the most dangerous positions any character could find themselves in. The vast, empty wilderness is as unforgiving as it gets, and her chances of survival alone seem slim. But there's still a chance. We've seen before how the characters in 1923 have been saved by the most unexpected people. Could someone come to Alexandra's aid, or is her fate sealed in the cold? The question is whether she can survive long enough to make it out of the snow, or whether the landscape will claim yet another victim. If she does survive, what will that mean for her future? And how will she return to the story once the dust settles at the ranch? As for Banner's men, the tension around their plan to eliminate Spencer is palpable. They've been on his tail all season, and with the gunfight looming, it seems like their chance to finish him off is finally within reach. But don't expect Banner's men to have it all their way. The Duttons have survived so much already, and Jacob's leadership isn't something that's going to crumble easily. But will the numbers be on their side? The sheriff, who has already proven himself to be somewhat of an unknown element, will, play a major role in this conflict. Is he loyal to the Duttons, or is he secretly aligned with their enemies? Episode 7 is going to answer this question in a big way. If he's been working with Banner, the Duttons could be in for a deadly surprise. But if he's on their side, the gunfight could tilt in their favor. Regardless of his allegiance, the sheriff's fate seems uncertain, and that's something that adds an extra layer of suspense to the upcoming battle. And then, of course, there's the looming question of the Dutton house. The bloodshed that has already unfolded there could be nothing compared to what's coming in Episode 7. The Duttons are bracing for an all-out attack, and the house itself may become the battleground. We've seen glimpses of fire and chaos inside the house in the teaser, and we can only imagine how intense this final showdown will get. Will anyone be able to escape unscathed? Or will the house that's been the heart of the Dutton family be forever changed? The answers lie in the final moments of this episode, and I have a feeling it's going to be a doozy. Finally, there's the flash-forward scene with Spencer in 1969. This small glimpse tells us one thing. Spencer isn't going to die in the final episode, so what's his fate after the season ends? What's next for him? This teaser leaves us with just as many questions as answers, and it's only adding to the mounting suspense. Spencer's journey is far from over, and while Episode 7 will provide some resolution, we can't help but wonder what kind of future is waiting for him down the line. Will he find peace after all the bloodshed, or will he be pulled back into the conflict once again? Episode 7 is going to be a game changer. It's the culmination of everything we've witnessed so far, and the stakes have never been higher. The battles at the train station, the Dutton Ranch, and the wilderness will all collide in a way that leaves us breathless. As we head into the finale, one thing is clear. 1923 has us hooked, and we're about to witness a showdown unlike anything we've seen before. Who will survive? Who will fall? And who will be left to pick up the pieces after the dust settles? All we can do now is wait and brace ourselves for what's to come.